Hello everybody and thanks for watching. Today I'm going to talk about the frameworks and the PHP framework in particular. As nowadays there are too many frameworks, starting by Zen, Symfony, Cake, PHP, Laravel, YII, CodeIgniter, and many else. And unfortunately they are all using the same concept: MVC, model, view, control. All of them are using the same way and working in the same way. If someone, and this is literally, and this is the truth, if someone asks me what to be used when I start my first application, my first web application or my first website, what do you recommend for me to use? What do you recommend? I strongly recommend using a framework, but not a framework as it is well known right nowadays. Not that general purpose framework. That my problem here, the problem I found myself when I used the frameworks Cake, PHP, and Laravel, and many else. I think I have tried all of them, the popular ones. All of them are using many classes that you don't want to use. No importance of this using. I don't know why. I don't know why when I am using a MySQL database, why to load the MySQL class every time? Why when I use a SQLite, why to ask me every single request you are taking a dynamic decision again and again and again? Why you're asking the same question using the framework? This is my problem. If I'm talking about a website that have 1,000 users only, you are consuming the resources of the of the website, of the hosting, or anyway, whatever it is, a shared hosting or VBS or dedicated or whatever. You are consuming more than what you need, and this is the problem with all the frameworks, all the popular frameworks. In my point of view, it is very good to create your own simple framework and start from this point and go far as much as you can or as much as you want. No need to get a big something that you are only using this part from this. This is too hard. This is too hard and too bad to your resources, too bad to your development, too bad to many things else. In my point of view, another thing is that frameworks are just like a prison. You are imprisoned in a framework. You are that's what I have seen before. You are in prison, locked up. I don't know why not to use why not to create your native PHP coded apps and get some classes from here and from there and make it more professional, make it more advanced till you reach the level you want. Why not to do something like this? And this will not take too much time. I know the framework users just respond or reply to my words by saying only, why to reinvent the wheel? Where is the need to reinvent the wheel? We are not reinventing any wheels here. Writing PHP code is not reinvention of a wheel. I just need a validation process. Then I grab the class of the validation. I just want a connection to MySQL, MySQLi after the deprecation of the version 1. MySQL improved. I grab the class of the connection. You have many things to be done better than using a general purpose framework. I will let you hear something related to Rasmus. He's the creator of PHP, multi-purpose programming language. He's the first one he coded in PHP, and I will let you hear what is his opinion about the frameworks. Again, Rasmus is the creator of the PHP itself, so his opinion is brought in consideration. Okay, here is Rasmus.
Hello, Rasmus. Hello, everyone. Our theme is framework days.
Yes.
Can you tell us your opinion about frameworks? Thank you.
They all suck.
He talked less than 0.5 seconds.
So, while they all suck, everyone needs a framework.
Everybody needs a framework. Yes, everybody needs a framework, not reinvent the wheel. Not to create a contact us form and it's PHP code and test it. And there is a class exists related to this or dedicated for the people who need a contact us form. Validation, same thing. Maybe some security stuff. All that database connections are well known, and there's no need to write it yourself from scratch. But when I load in a class, MySQL database, PostgreSQL, SQLite, Mongo, Maria, many things else. Where's the need? I just want to write down that I use MySQL. Then please don't ask me again, or don't send any dynamic requests for dynamic decisions about the MySQL or DBMS I'm using. We just need something like this. And this is why I always recommend using something like WordPress or Drupal or Joomla, or they are using the concept of here's what you need, only here is what you need. And if you want to remove anything from the things that WordPress bring in the source code or in the head tags and the footer and anything else, you can edit anything as you need. So I always recommend something like this, something like WordPress as a CMS. It is a framework in the start, but it is a CMS, a content management system, as it is more easier. Sometimes the developers says, why to use something like CMS? We need something for developers, as if the WordPress is just for playing games. WordPress is too big CMS, too big, very big community. We have more than 60,000 plugins in the store only. What about Code Canyons, and what about ThemeForest, and what about the outer stores? So we are talking about developers from all over the world working on the same board, working on the same platform, the WordPress. And I always hear that Laravel is better than WordPress. Frameworks are better than CMSs and this part. I just want you to know that your resources, or the resources of your hosting, even if it is a shared hosting, a VBS, a dedicated, or whatever it is, your resources are in danger because of the framework. No need to consume all of these resources. You just need a particular part. We need a particular thing. There's no need to consume the resources by using the other things. So again, I just wanted to talk about the frameworks. We all need a framework. We all need a framework, not to reinvent the wheels, as people always say, but the best framework is your written one. You write your own framework. You write it natively, you write it using other thing. You use something like WordPress and just remove some things out from it. The issue is that when using something like Laravel or Symfony or this type of frameworks, you don't need this part and this part and this part, so you modify the framework itself. So after the modification, the update of the framework will become impossible. As if you update, you will lose all your modifications, so you are not so you confess in this time that you are not updating and you started in a wrong way. So I always prefer using a micro framework with additional classes from this or there, the classes that you need, only the particular things that you need, and no need for the other things, no need for the dynamic decisions that are sent and received by everything and with every single request on the server. This is dangerous to your resources. And as I told you, I am not trying to talk about frameworks as I am not using a framework. No, I am using a framework, but what type of frameworks to use? This is the important question you must ask yourself. What type of frameworks to use? What is the difference between frameworks, popular frameworks, just folders, folder names, and I didn't see anything else. If you have more than 3-4 developers than the other framework, then you will for sure you will have more modules for it. But it is not all about the modules. Everything or any place got its work and its modules. I'm talking about the frameworks and CMSs and all of these. So the issue is not the framework or the developers. The issue is the structure itself of the framework. It is not the name. We are not enemies to Laravel and Symfony here. I'm talking about the CMS users. We are not this type. If you know Pioneer Bank, it is using WordPress. So everything is related to the developer himself. It is not related to what you are using. If you are using the most secure framework known ever, and you are small in the community and small in the field of programming, then you will not have success. You will not have the success here. And I think you can write something like eval or base 64 or this stuff, just like as you're trying. Then you get your website into trouble. You get your web application into SQL injections. You get it into trouble. So it is always based on who is working, not what is being used. So when I said get away from the frameworks or use a most particular framework, don't use a general purpose framework, I try to to focus on the points that I really need to focus on. I'm talking about the resources. I have no other issues with the framework itself, as I'm using a framework. I always write my own framework, and it is used in MVC, and I always use a CMS like WordPress and Drupal and this part, and sometimes I write native PHP and grab some classes from here and there and complete my work to the progress. So I have no problem with the framework, as I told from the start, but I need to make everything clear. Frameworks consume your resources, so go search for a framework, a simple framework that are not consuming your resources, and I will end my words saying that the best framework is your own written framework. Thank you. See you soon.